folks, welcome back to Movies on the Brain, the channel where we dive deep into the latest and greatest in cinema. Today we're conjuring up some magic with our review of The Sorcerer's Apprentice, directed by the visionary John Turteltaub and starring the charismatic Nicolas Cage and the talented Jay Baruchel. This film brings a modern twist to the classic tale. Before we get started, here's a quick heads up. This review will contain spoilers, so if you haven't seen the movie yet, grab your enchanted broomstick, go watch it, and then come back to join the magical discussion. So grab your spell books and wands as we delve into the mystical world of the Sorcerer's Apprentice. Let's get into it. Okay, let's see how it did in the box office. Sorcerer's Apprentice opened in theaters on July 14th, 2010, with a budget of $150 million. In its 16-week theatrical run, it earned $63.1 million domestically and $152.1 million internationally, bringing its worldwide total to $215.2 million. The opening weekend saw it bring in a total of $17.6 million and finished number 3 in the box office, only behind Despicable Me and Inception, numbers 2 and 1 respectively, with Inception also opening the same weekend. Final week in theaters saw it bring in $35,594 while being shown in 39 theaters, finishing its box office run at number 56. Now let's get to the plot. In Britain 740 AD, Merlin has 3 apprentices: Balthazar Blake, Veronica Berlosian, and Maxim Horvath. But Horvath betrays Merlin by allying with Morgana Le Fay, an evil sorceress who mortally wounds Merlin, for Veronica rips Morgana's soul from her body and absorbs it into her own. As Morgana attempts to kill Veronica from within, Balthazar stops her by imprisoning Morgana and Veronica in the Grimhold, a magical prison in the shape of a nesting doll. Before dying, Merlin gives Balthazar his dragon figurine that will identify the prime Merlin's descendant and the only one able to defeat Morgana. Throughout history, Balthazar searches for his descendant and imprisons Morganians, sorcerers who try to release Morgana, including Horvath, into the Grimhold. In 2000 in New York City, 10-year-old Dave Stutler encounters Balthazar in his Manhattan antique store. When Balthazar gives Dave Merlin's dragon figurine, the statue comes to life to form a ring, revealing his status as the Prime Merlinian. As Balthazar retrieves a book meant to teach magic, Dave accidentally opens the Grimhold, releasing Horvath. Balthazar and Horvath battle for possession of the Grimhold and are imprisoned in an ancient Chinese urn with a 10-year lock curse while David flees with the ring. 10 years later, Dave is a physics student at NYU. The 10-year imprisonment curse of the urn ends, releasing both Horvath and Balthazar. Horvath pursues Dave in the Grimhold. Balthazar rescues Dave riding an animated steel eagle adapted from a Chrysler Building gargoyle. Dave refuses to help Balthazar, having been under psychiatric care since their first meeting, until Balthazar agrees to leave after finding the Grimhold. They track the Grimhold to Chinatown, where Horvath has released the next Morganian, Sun Locke. Dave defeats Sun Locke, and Balthazar retrieves the Grimhold. Dave changes his mind and agrees to become Balthazar's apprentice. He also becomes romantically involved with his childhood crush, Becky, against Balthazar's wishes and advice. Get back the Grimhold. Horvath enlists the help of Drake Stone, a celebrity magician who's also a Morganian. They attempt to kill Dave, but Balthazar saves him. Viewed by Horvath, Dave demands to know the truth about Balthazar's quest. Balthazar reveals that Morgana is trapped in the Grimhold with Veronica. Morgana, if freed, will cast a spell called the Rising, which would revive sorcerers from the dead and enslave mankind. As the Prime Merlinian, Dave is the only one who can stop her. Despite Balthazar's disdain for his relationship with Becky, Dave convinces him to allow him to meet her for a date. Dave tries to use magic to clean up his lab, but loses control of the animated cleaning mops, which forces him to cancel his date with Becky. He is saved because of Balthazar's intervention. He gives up on magic until Becky unknowingly changes his mind. He returns to his lab just as Drake and Horvath steal the Grimhold. Horvath betrays Drake by stealing his magic. Horvath releases the witch Abigail Williams, using her to kidnap Becky at the radio station, and steals her magic. He threatens to kill Becky, forcing Dave to surrender his ring. Without the ring, Dave has no conduit to use his magic, so Balthazar goes after Horvath in Battery Park. Horvath releases Morgana, who begins the Rising spell while Horvath animates the Charging Bull sculpture and commands it to attack Balthazar. Dave arrives and stuns Horvath with a Tesla coil tied to Balthazar's car, while Balthazar's eagle flies away with the bull. Becky disrupts the Rising spell, stunning Morgana. Balthazar takes Morgana, body and soul, from Veronica into himself, but Morgana escapes and tries to incinerate them. Dave succeeds in stopping her without his ring. Morgana overwhelms Balthazar and Veronica's shield spells, killing Balthazar when he intercepts the bolt meant for Veronica. Dave makes another, larger Tesla coil out of the square's lamp posts and power lines to stun her, and then fires a plasma barrage, finally destroying her. He revives Balthazar by restarting his heart with plasma shocks, and Balthazar reunites with Veronica. Dave and Becky fly to France for breakfast on Balthazar's eagle. Okay, now let's check out the cast and some of the other roles they've had. Nicolas Cage as Balthazar Blake. Other roles for Nicolas Cage include Matt in The Retirement Plan, Miller in Butcher's Crossing, and Joe in In Between Worlds. Dave Baruchel as Dave Stutler. Other roles for Dave Baruchel include Pat in Goon, Hiccup in the How to Train Your Dragon franchise, and Jared York in Humane. Jake Cherry as Young Dave. Other roles for Jake Cherry include Kenny in Transit, Corey in Hits, and Nick Daly in Night at the Museum. Alfred Molina as Maxim Horvath. Other roles for Alfred Molina include the Duke in the TV show Solar Opposites, Ben Bradley in The Frontrunner, Paul Weller in Breakable You. Teresa Palmer as Becky Barnes. Other roles for Teresa Palmer include Julie in Warm Bodies, Rebecca in Lights Out, and Number 6 in I Am Number 4. Peyton List as Young Becky. Other roles for Peyton List include Tori Nichols in the TV show Cobra Kai, Emma Ross in the TV show Jessie, and Lacey in Paper Spiders. Toby Kebbell as Drake Stone. Other roles for Toby Kebbell include Miles Dale in the TV show For All Mankind, Kevin in The Female Brain, and Tony in The Counselor. Omar Benson Miller as Bennett Zero. Other roles for Omar Benson Miller include Charles Green in the TV show Ballers, Tito in Homefront, and Walter Simmons in the TV show CSI Miami. Monica Bellucci as Veronica Gorlosian. Other roles for Monica Bellucci include Bianca in Mafia Mama, Angela Caroni in Spider in the Web, and Devonna Sealman in Memory. Alice Craig as Morgana Le Fay. Other roles for Alison Craig include the Board Queen in the Star Trek franchise, Andrea Foss in Echoes of the Past, and Miss MC in 2022's Texas Chainsaw Massacre. Robert Caprone as Oliver. Other roles for Robert Caprone include Raleigh Jefferson in Diary of a Wimpy Kid series, Bob in Frankenweenie, and Mason in the TV show Elementary. Ian McShane as the narrator. Other roles for Ian McShane include Al Swearingen in the TV show Deadwood, Tai Lung in Kung Fu Panda, and Winston in the John Wick franchise. James A. Stevens as Merlin. Other roles for James A. Stevens include Kenneth Jasper in the TV show The Blacklist, Captain Phillips in Sherlock Holmes, and Will Sparks in A Novel Romance. George Wu as Son Locke. Other roles for Gregory Wu include Alan in An American Hollywood and Yo in Pendejo Idiot. Nicole Ehinger as Abigail Williams. Other roles for Nicole Ehinger include Angela in Fresh Kills, Bethany in Strive, and Shell in Girl Followed. Ethan Peck as Andre. Other roles for Ethan Peck include Spock in the TV show Star Trek Strange New Worlds, Saxon in the TV show I Ship It, and Thorn in the Halo 4 video game. Adrienne Lennox as Miss Jesselyn Algar. The other roles for Adrienne Lennox include Rose Woods in Black Snake Moan, Denise Orr in The Blind Side, and Gina in Lee Daniels' The Butler. Henry Yuke as the Chinese dragon carrier. Other roles for Henry Yuke include Khan in Asher, Mr. Yang in the TV show Iron Fist, and Mr. Meng in Year of the Fish. And Alfred Molina sure loves to play villains, doesn't he? He was great in this, as per usual, same with Nicolas Cage. Before going into this, I wasn't familiar with anybody in this movie except Nicolas Cage, Alfred Molina, and Peyton List, so getting to watch so many actors I wasn't familiar with was a really fun experience. The special effects were top notch, and the story was easy to follow. And I feel like everyone was well cast for their roles. What I'm trying to figure out is why this movie has such a low rating on Rotten Tomatoes at 40% for critics and 53% for audience rating. I found the whole Merlinian thing fascinating, and the fact that a science nerd was quite possibly the last descendant of Merlin was pretty predictable, but still fun to watch. Chemistry between all involved, mainly Nicolas Cage and Jay Baruchel, Nicolas Cage and Alfred Molina, and Jay Baruchel and Teresa Palmer was phenomenal. Buddy Romero now can stop talking my ear off about this movie. It was definitely a good one. Now let's check out some of the fun facts about this movie. 1935 Rolls-Royce Phantom that was used in the film is a one-of-a-kind and actually belongs to Nicolas Cage. The filmmakers were trying to find a really cool classic car, and Cage offered it as an option to use. Real wolves were used in the scene where they chased Dave down the street. However, they were overwhelmingly tame and affectionate creatures, so track points were painted on their face so that the CG artists could animate a more scary face onto them. The Chinatown sequence took 5 months to plan. Half of a ton of confetti was used in the sequence, and the idea for the film was largely Nicolas Cage's, as he wanted to explore a mystic world with a magical character. Maxim's last name, Horvath, is a typical Hungarian surname. It means Croatian. The good and evil apprentices, Dave Stutler and Drake Stone, share the initials DS. Brie Larson auditioned for Becky, and this has been Jay Baruchel's only Disney role to date. And that wraps up our spoiler-filled review of The Sorcerer's Apprentice. This movie truly takes us on a magical journey with spellbinding moments and enchanting adventures. I'd love to hear your thoughts. Did The Sorcerer's Apprentice captivate your imagination, or did it leave you wanting more magic? Drop your comments below and let's get the conversation started. If you enjoyed this review, don't forget to give us a thumbs up and subscribe to Movies on the Brain and hit that notification bell so you never miss an update. Thanks for watching, and until next time, keep your wands at the ready and your brain on the movies. Stay magical, everyone.